You can also use the LiveBinding Designer to connect, let me zoom that up a little bit, to bind fields or controls or properties of controls to objects in your application. So it might be an employee object, customer object, whatever it is. The way I created this example, this is a VCL application where I'm actually using the form as a class. Now, form is visual, but it's not a visual control. It's a container of controls in VCL and FireMonkey. And so the way I put the form and did bindings of these edit boxes to it is I went down to the LiveBinding Designer, go and select the application, and let's go and choose this one. So now, when we look at the controls like edit control and edit to, notice in the object inspector, I've got a component property. And so I'm going to take the component property and the component, and I'm going to bind the edit controls text property to it. But this normally will be a list of either some visual control, but you can actually type in here just the name of the class. And if the name of the class is known by the LiveBinding Designer, meaning that it's been compiled, that it has some runtime type information, I can put that class. So here I just typed in form1, and in the component property, well, it's a class instead of a component, but it has a property called caption. So I'm associating the caption with edit1 and the width of a form to the text in edit2. So don't get caught up in that the property here is component. You can put whatever class you want there, customer object, sales object, whatever it might be, and then choose a field of it that you want to bind to. In this case, I can't edit the caption in the user interface, so it's a one-way link here, and I can't edit I could edit the width by resizing the control, but then resizing the form. But that's not really changing it in the sense of a data entry on a user interface. So let's go and just run this example and show that it actually does something. So hello changes the caption, and let's change the width, right? And now it's wider, and now it's narrower, and we can have fun all day long. So again, this example is just there to show you that you can actually use the LiveBinding Designer to bind controls, data fields, whatever it might be, objects to objects, fields of objects to fields of objects, just by using the object inspector. And again, you can show and hide elements and refresh the designer. If it gets a little confused, then resize it. Again, you can go and set the layout to, well, sometimes it doesn't quite know what you want to lay out as. Now, all of this information, binding information, is saved in the form file. So down here, we've got our edit box. Here's the binding list, and here's the different binding. We're binding the edit one to the caption, and binding to the edit to the width, for example, of the owner. There's also a .vlb file that gets generated, and the VLB file is just there to show it keeps track of where these objects are in the LiveBinding Designer. So if you see this .vlb file, just know that that's there to know where to lay these out when you open the project up and you open up the Visual LiveBinding Designer.